Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Neil with Simpler Futures and the end of week wrap up here on Friday afternoon, December the 30th, which makes it not only end of week, but end of month, end of quarter, and end of year. Next time that we are together, it will be 2023. So for that, thank you for being with us and sharing some of your time with us this year, 22, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year as we look forward to kicking off the new year no sooner than next week. But it's Tuesday of next week because Monday is an exchange holiday, so Tuesday of next week. So here we go. Would you believe it? This is when you say, wait, what? Really? Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. Have we talked about this and talked about this? This 60 price in the S&P futures, which is married to the 35 level in the SPX that we pointed to, that's been a thing since. And if I switch to a daily chart, you can kind of really get a feel for this. You say that's been a thing since right here, since December the 16th. You can see, I mean, we have been just a little above, a little below, above, below, back and forth at 60 in the ES, which is 35 in the SPX, which we've really been glued to. But the good news is, now that that big SPX trade is off the board, this thing is now free of that as influence of what, it's now free to roam. And so we now will anticipate that it very well, may do that. So they're at 3,800 I will remind you, and we're right in that region. At 3,800, the S&Ps are down 20%. So they're down about 18 and change, 19% on the year as of end of business today. And, the NASDAQ's down like 34, I think, and the Dow is 9.5. And that's just the way it is, So if that's the case, then across the board, there's a lot of losses on the year in long-only books, right? To the tune of maybe average 20%. 10 in the Dow, 20 here, and 34 in the NASDAQ. So call it average, 20%. So if at end of year, traditionally everything's marked to market and you have those gains of 8 to 10% annually, a lot of that's available for reinvestment, roll back into the market first of the week next week, and it can trade higher on that. It's part of that quote, if you will, Santa rally. However, that's not the case this year. There are losses on the year this year, so would not surprise me, honestly. In fact, it will be my anticipation that we'll see this thing trade lower next week. So normally on the Santa rally, we would look for a continuation of the uptick on the heels of the end of this week into the beginning of next. That's not the case. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm actually going to be looking lower to start off next week or next week. I mean, I don't know if it starts up and then gets nailed and rolls or what happens, but I'm looking lower. And then maybe the week after that we'll talk about a bid. But can you believe it? I mean, this is incredible, isn't it? We've been maybe 3,900 and 3,800, and this thing is glued to that 3860 to the tune of it's going out there today, allowing the SPX to go out right on that 35 mark that we see. I mean, it was a huge open interest there. Huge. Got up to like 60,000 or something. Let's go look. December 30 quarterlies, 38, 35, 60,000, 61,000 almost. Yeah, it's big. Yeah, that's something else. And that's exactly, but this is good news because now no longer under the influence of that, free to roam. And let's see if we can go on walkabout now and this thing roam a bit. So that'll be the plan for next week. I could be wrong, get it wrong a lot, but I'd be looking lower, even if it has to, if we have to let it uptick first and find a place to sell it for it to, come back in and trade lower. One really interesting, spot. See, all the levels will be different next week, I think, because if it's not allowed to roam far from the 60 ES/35 SPX, then it would bid up small but get smacked right back down to it. That's no longer the influence next week, and so does it trade up a little higher to first get smacked? Maybe like 39.12? Yeah, possibly. That's what we're going to be looking at for next week. It goes out right here on balance this week, as you can see. That's the point of control for the entire week. That was the weekly pivot. That was the point of control for last week. See, last week was 60. This week was 61. Weekly pivot was 60. It goes out 60. So pretty amazing. But good news is, look, next week's a new week. Give it a rest on Monday, exchange holiday, back at it on Tuesday, and we'll pick it up and take it again from there. So from all of us here at Simpler Trading to you, thank you for taking the time to watch these. Join us in our trade rooms as we do this all day, every day, and have a good time doing it. And also, Happy New Year. We'll look forward to getting 23 started off nicely early next week. And so in advance of that, I'd say Happy New Year. Take care and good weekend as well.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me